Good morning. Today we're going to be taking a look at some XRP, some VLO data. Then we'll jump in over to some liquidity and the Sigma coin. All right. So we've got a couple interesting developments here. So going over our larger play for over the last week after the capitulation breakdown event, we completed an ABC up and then a final 5 waves down for the flat completion, which was a larger overall structure where we ended up having a, let's get this zoomed out here. We ended up having a 335. So this right here is our flat. Now I want to point out to you, because there's a lot of people who say that this looks horrible, that I've been seeing out there. No, actually, because we came up and through this entire region and held this entire channel. So I mean, if we were to just use our VWAPs and just drop a VWAP here at the top of the, let's just go with the initial impulse here for the farthest to the left, you can see how beautifully sideways these channels are, and it just really was a visit to +2, -2, back up to +1, back down to -2, and then all the way back up to +3, way too overdone, and then all the way down to -2. So it was just a range. That's all it was, just a range. So it felt ridiculous, it felt choppy, it felt long, because we've been doing it since December, so almost a year, just chopping and chewing and chilling, just moving in and out. So all of this price action here ultimately is well above all this, and people would look at this and say, well, this is scary because there's all this liquidity right here. Well, no, they got most of it on some exchanges. They wicked all the way down into the 70s on Binance, giving it a massive take back of all of this region here, and this one is Coinbase. And so all of this has been wiped from most of the liquidity books, and now we can actually start working our way out of here. So I suspect Coinbase didn't have as deep of a drawdown is because Coinbase didn't start futures until right here. So they just went down and got everybody that they had on their futures product. So anyways, that's just an overview. I've seen people sit here and say that this looks very bearish. And I'm like, no, how? It's like floating in space-time, just out here, just chilling and getting ready to go after a liquidity wick completion. So anyway, that's just me. You know, you do what you want with your money. Now, let's zoom in and we'll go and say, okay, what do we have here on the short-term time frame? So we're going to be analyzing this here in a few moments. On this chart, first thing I want to point out is we're using our trend-based fib here. So we went to the low up to the high that was identified as a wave 1 impulse, and then I grabbed the wave 2 impulse here that we're doing, and this gave us a measured move of equality at $2.3583. Now, what you'll notice is we're above that. We're actually hitting here as a back support and getting ready to go. This is impulsive. That's exactly what you want to see. So we're going to have some pretty cool setups here. We're going to look at 2 different versions, and then this price action over here will be what we end up ultimately deciding of where we are in our structure. So, but now we're going to jump over to Korea. So Korea actually gives us an interesting setup here because they have no leverage in Korea, and because of that, they actually set a higher low, whereas the US dollar coin version set a lower low, as you can see here. So that higher low is what we're going to actually identify as the beginning of our impulsive wave. And off the bat here, I've made it for us already. We have 5 waves. So there's your 5 wave move off the lows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is the beginning of our impulsive move off the lows and getting out of here, because Korea and XRP USD are both showing that there's demand for this asset and it's grinding its way higher. Okay. Now, we get over to this next thing and you're like, what is this crap, right? Well, this is actually our ABC for wave 2. So we're going to grab that wave 2 right here and we're going to stick it right there on that guy. And what you actually see is when we zoom in, we have a wave 2 giving us a 5 wave move down, an ABC up, and then another 5 wave move down. So there's your wave 2 completion off of our wave 1. Okay. So now we also know that wave 2, the low, shouldn't cross over wave 1's starting origin, which was right here. And so when we go to put that right there, it didn't, right? So there's our actually, I'm sorry, wave 2 shouldn't cross the starting origin of the entire move right here. And this right here is where we are going to see that this wave 4 back tested and held support on top of this completion move right here. So now, okay, we're now moving into our next leg here. This is identified for me as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, the same rule is that wave 4 should not cross over the height of wave 1. As you can see, it does not. And we can even possibly justify that this is 1, 2, 3. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave 3, and this is actually wave 4 over here. And so we're still actually got more to go for this next wave 3 move. And I would argue that with this wave 3 minor 5 waves that we're looking at, we're actually further along, and this is a wave 4 completion, a wave 3 completion, and we have still another squeeze higher for our 5th of wave 3 to still come into play. So we're doing great here. So this is really grinding out of here well. This is one of the cleanest structures that I've seen thus far of any of these type of impulses that we've been tracking. And we're going to just continue to monitor it, but this is kind of how I'm looking at it, is that 1 and 4 have not crossed. 2 did not exceed 1. And so far, our 4th wave, which will be up here, will not cross the completion of wave 1's top right here. So this will be the 2 areas that we do not want to cross when we go to do these types of structures. So for anyone who's looking, this is XRP over KRW. And you'll see similarities with the USD version, but this is with, again, no leverage, so it's organic and with spot. So, so now we're going to continue to see this grind play out. So we still have wave 3, 4, and 5 to go for our initial wave 1, and then we'll see how our wave 2 kind of consolidation chop happens, because wave 2 of the full degree, of the larger degree, can actually come all the way down here. So this is just the sub counts. So we're just looking at wave 1 still. All of this is in wave 1 of these minor waves. So because we're super zoomed in. So this is really, really bullish. Completion of wave 3 is on its way. Price action higher, good. And we start, this is one of the strongest counts that I've been able to see so far. I've looked over at Bitcoin across the board. Really, XRP is doing amazing. So now we say, okay, well, this is all fine and good, but how do we know that this is in fact going to last and we're not going to just roll over one more time? Well, first, we haven't invalidated any of our levels, right? And then secondarily, we have a beautiful count so far. And now let's go into the background velo data. So here's our velo data, and there's some very intriguing things to note here. So first off, number 1, you have our price action here at the top. You have some anomalous behaviors I've signaled here. You have whether or not we're short if we're red or long if we're green, and spot buying down here. So spot is actually flattened out. So you can actually see we're not getting any downward pressure on spot right at this moment in time. It's kind of sideways. And so then you say, okay, well, what is the price action doing? Well, we're moving up, okay? And with that, we have an open interest increase. Now, mind you, we are very healthy on the open interest. We were super, super elevated way up here. This is why it wasn't sustainable, and the collapse occurred because it was all leverage and no spot buying. Now the leverage is gone, and it's completely decimated. And in addition to that, we've had some anomalous things that tell us what we're getting ready to do here. So we have then the leverage currently is mostly short, right? So it's red. So they're paying funding for shorting, okay? Then we have the open interest is increasing. So we say, okay, great. So the shorts are increasing. The spot buyers or sellers, these are the sellers who are selling at market, is just sideways. So no one's really market selling. But we have price going up, which means limit buys are coming in and they're walking the price higher and higher as they're chasing it, but no one's market buying at this point. But this right here, these yellow circles, are the anomalous behaviors. And what we've actually seen in both of these circumstances is that as price action fell, in both cases, the open interest dropped very dramatically, which means to me that the shorts were closing out, knowing that this was the end, their positions, because we had liquidation of all the longs. That's nothing you can do about that. Then we had the open interest rise, go short. So with these highlighted boxes, or whenever we turn negative here. So we have negative, the price goes up. We have negative, price goes up. We have negative, price goes up. Negative, price goes sideways. Okay, intriguing. And then we also have a drop in OI. Then we got negative through here. Price goes down, down, and then it actually goes negative right here again, and it still goes down. And now here we are negative, and we're going up again. So right through this region, with the drop in price, we see that the open interest was closing and closing through each of those kind of last final 5th wave drops. And this is telling me that the smart money has completely exited their shorts, and they're now leaving the dumb money to start getting washed away, going to the upside, thinking there's one more rollover. When we looked at the overall price action, we're bullish, right? So, and this is what I'm seeing happening. So open interest is rising, it's short, but price is going up, and this is the squeeze that's happening of the shorts that we have in this whole thing. So now we say, okay, well, where's the liquidity? Well, here we are on the XRP weekly heat map. Oh my, everybody's all up here with the shorts, and then tell me who's long down here. I mean, there's nobody, right? So this takes us back just after the liquidation event, because this is a week ago, so this will be Saturday of last week, and you can see that just everything is up, barely anything is down. This is the picture. We then support that with the velo data showing that people are actually doubling down on their shorts while they're going down, but price action's going up. They're just going to get squeezed all the way back up, and price action, in my opinion, can easily recover back up to the 282 region, and that would also give us here, with the validation of liquidations, up into the 260s easy, and we can even push into this 270 region here. So especially if they're shorting it, thinking the rollover is going to occur, which it could with a wave 1 when we get there. So anyway, but yeah, so that's the final just kind of takeaway from the whole thing. Beautiful wave count thus far, moving into our wave 3 impulse after a wave 1, 2, and this will be our 3. Then we'll go a 4, 5. We'll actually probably set a new higher high up into this region here, which for the USD players will be an expectation of us moving back up into the 242, 245 region, and the liquidity agrees with that. There's your 247 right there, and then you got your 255 and your 267. So lots of setup here for the squeeze. So but yeah, so super bullish. And now we jump over to Sigma coin. What are we seeing over here? Well, Sigma is kicking some butt. We've got ourselves an ABC off the lows. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there's your 5-way move. Question now is, will we be able to get lucky enough to have somebody who doesn't want to hold the Sigma coin anymore, and we say, please don't want the Sigma coin, and they go, oh no, I'm going to get out of it. And you go, oh, perfect. Come on back down and give me another secondary entry now that I've confirmed the 5 waves. So if we go, they'll probably see something like this, right? Somewhere down here. And so they'll try to go for these gaps. Now, these gaps mostly closed, right? You can see there's a little bit of a gap right here on this parabolic run, and you can see that price action, you know, kind of got visited. Sometimes they don't close those gaps. And then this one actually really got mostly filled. So if we're lucky, we get this corrective structure along this way. I don't know if we're going to be lucky. We're going to find out together. I think this might actually already sadly be the end of the down. And so then here's your A, B, and then we might do a C leg that comes down to there, gets that one maybe. That's might be all we get. So somewhere in here, I mean, but again, obviously these are for buying. The fact though that we have this very clear 5 waves off the low is extremely bullish. That's what you're looking for. And I'm just hoping we'll get some more liquidations, because I want this deeper correction move, and I can then get more Sigma. I was fortunate enough to yesterday be right here. That was me. I think that was right here. That was me. So I was in that region. I can't remember. I was somewhere either there or there. It was over there. So got it before it went up here, but if we get back to that level, I'm in. So but yeah, that's really cool. And the fact that Sigma is already showing an impulsive move as well, along with the XRP price action, is bullish. And then for fun, let's just check in on our 3-day to see how we're doing over here. We are looking at, ooh, positive. Oh boy, 3-day Stotch, positive. RSI curving up. Ooh, my goodness, get ready for wildness, everybody. I think we're going. So that's exactly what you want to see, because these 3-day RSI things, when they do print, do give you these nice big bounces. So be ready, because it's getting ready to do it again. So so yeah, pretty excited for Sigma, and ready for it. So please, 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 just need a little bit of liquidation so we can get more, please. Anything right here or down here is a gift. So we will be checking in tomorrow, and thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk soon.